on the clock right now. And of course, it is IN34. And if you have followed us on our Instagram, you would already have seen the poster. We are talking to Mom Pack Travel with Evie Farrell. Hi, Evie. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. I'm so excited to be talking to you today.
Oh my goodness. First and foremost, thank you so much for joining us. I understand that you're currently in Maldives.
I am. I actually run group trips to the Maldives now. I have a company that I started that I do group trips for women only and for mums and kids.
Nice
And
one,
so
nice
I'm here
one.
with 20 women and we're just having the best time. The weather has been wonderful, thank goodness.
You know what? I'm very, very jealous. I think all of us here are quite jealous because, you know, we're having the monsoon season here, right? In Malaysia.
Oh, yeah, of course. But, you know, Malaysia has such beautiful beaches.
Oh.
So I know that at the right time of year, it's perfect for you guys too.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I understand over in the Maldives, it is 12:20 p.m. right now?
Yes, that's right. 3-hour time difference.
Right. So how long have you already been in the Maldives? I know, I'm just nosy like that. Okay, I'm sorry.
Whoa. I think I've been here now for 7 days,
Ooh.
and the ladies have been here for a little bit less, maybe 5 days. And yeah, tomorrow's the 6th day for them and they fly home. So yeah, I have been super lucky to have all of this time here. And yeah, it's been beautiful. We've been, yeah, like I said, so lucky with the weather. So we've been snorkeling and swimming. Some of the girls have been sailing.
Right.
There's live music each night on the beach for sunset. So it's just it's a beautiful, relaxing holiday.
Oh, I feel so like inspired to book a trip to Maldives.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely on my vision board for next year. Thank you very much for the inspiration, Evie. But yeah, of course, just a quick introduction. Of course, founder of Mom Pack Travel. I would say people use the word influencer or momfluencer.
Yeah, it's funny though, but I don't really see myself as that. I'm not really an influencer. You know, I don't really do like brand deals or selling stuff online or on social.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I see myself more as a connector or just a sharer.
Right.
Yeah, I just really love having a community of women, spending a lot of time talking to women and sharing information with women. And also as a solo mum, you know, creating a community for women where we can all connect and share our experiences.
Yeah, I definitely find it interesting. So let's talk more about your journey first, okay? And excuse me if I've got a lot of like personal questions because I find it so interesting. And to those of you tuning in right now, you can catch us live on Facebook at TRAXXfm Official. It's also on TikTok live at TRAXXfm Official. You can ask all your questions. And because I really, really love travel and, you know, stuff like that, we're going to make it into a podcast kind of interview. Okay, there are no breaks. Let me just tell you because it's so interesting to me. But Evie, you know, your journey with Emmy started with a leap of faith, and you mentioned how you built the community, you know, women, solo travelers, solo women travelers, mom and stuff like that. So what was the story behind it? Because everyone's got a story, right? So I want to hear your story.
Yeah, it's so true. I was a solo mom from just after born. So I've kind of been doing everything myself. And I had a fabulous career. I worked in PR in crisis management,
right?
Which I really loved. And that's, you know, very busy, requires a lot of hours, but it's just really, you know, invigorating. I loved it. But I couldn't balance doing that work and having time for Em. But of course I needed to be earning an income.
Right.
So I tried different things. But there was no way that I could really balance it. And I think that is a myth that we are often sold, that we are, you know, super women and we can do it all. And I think sometimes, you know, something has to give. And I found that, I was just so busy. I was always working, or on the weekend I was running around doing all the chores that we have to do, everything that we need to organize for our family and for our children. And I've always loved travel. And while I was working, I would take time off every, 6 months or so to go on a holiday with and take her with me. And she she was quite young at this. Her first trip overseas was at like 3 months to Fiji. So we
Wow.
continued doing these little holidays. And then I thought, do you know what? The way I could actually spend more time with her, because it was really worrying me that I didn't get enough time with Em,
Mm,
is if we went traveling full time. It was a complete, just this crazy idea. I was like, what do I love doing? I love my daughter, obviously, and I love
mm,
traveling.
mm-hmm.
I had some savings that I was going to use to renovate our kitchen. And I
Right.
thought I can use those savings to travel for a year. So we actually did a test run to see how it would go. We had
Mm-hmm.
been traveling like up until this time and was about 5.5. So I said, okay, well, if we're going to travel for a year, we have to see how we can do it backpacking. I'm a backpacker from way back, budget
Mm-hmm.
travel,
Mm-hmm.
but Em had not experienced this before. So we actually went to Borneo and we
Oh.
traveled around. Yeah, we spent some time in Kuching. We spent a lot of time in Sabah and we went to Mulu as well,
Right.
which was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And we've returned to Malaysia so many times. Like it's one of our favorite places. So we tested that out, and she did really well.
Uh-huh.
I think that must have been around August, I think. And in February, the following year, we left. I
Right.
packed up the house, put everything in storage, withdrew Em from school. She just turned 6.
Mm-hmm.
And we set off, and we ended up traveling together for around 3 years,
Right.
full time throughout Asia. And yeah, during that time, I think that was at the time that social media was really just exploding. And
Mm-hmm.
I had a few stories published because my degree is journalism. I do a lot of writing as well. So I had some
Mm.
stories published
Right.
in the media that kind of led people to me and to us. And yeah, that's really how it all began.
Wow. Did this happen before COVID or after COVID?
It was before COVID. We left in 2016.
Oh,
And then,
wow.
yeah, we came home for a little while and then we set off again, but that was like just before COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
we had to come home and that
Right,
started a
right.
whole other set of adventures. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but we traveled for a number of years. Yeah.
Yeah. So the question I think I would personally ask is, did you have to think and plan for a long time? Like, okay, look, I'm gonna travel full time, and I'm gonna take my daughter with me, and I'm gonna do this for real, for real. So, was it like a split second decision, or did you have to go through a lot of like planning? Like, oh, okay, is this? What if it doesn't? What if this? What if that? So, walk us a little
Yeah.
through that process.
When I look back on this time, like I really admire this person who did this because I just feel like I knew in my heart that this was going to be the right decision for me. And sometimes when I
Mm.
think back, I'm like, oh my gosh, she was so brave.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because I've been trying to figure out how to make things work, when this solution, I was actually sitting down having a coffee with a girlfriend, and she kind of suggested it. What do you love the most? Can you put all of them together and make a life from it?
Mm.
And when I realized, okay, that's Em and travel, it was like easy from then on. I'm like, this is the way forward. And
Mm.
of course, there were a lot of people who said, what if it doesn't work out? Or what
Uh-huh,
if you don't
uh-huh.
like it? Or I think people generally, they're a little bit afraid or nervous of something different. I think a lot of
Mm.
people now are traveling full time
Yeah.
and you can see a lot more of it. But back then, gosh, what would that be, like 7, 8 years ago now?
Mm.
7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, of course, I wasn't the first person to do it, but it wasn't so accessible. I think you didn't see a lot of it. You didn't see a lot of it on social because that was all
Mm.
just starting up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I made that decision, from then on, it really was easy. And
Right.
I really just had to, yeah, pack up the house, uh, sort out the schooling for Em. We did distance education through the New South Wales school system, but it was an absolute failure because Em just didn't want to learn from me. But she learned a lot traveling
Right.
anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the easy part, really. And I didn't plan ahead very much either. We
Really?
just
Like
kind of arrived in the
I feel
Philippines and
I feel like a lot of
yeah.
people tuning in right now, they probably have the whole inspiration like, oh yeah, you know what, I want to say goodbye to my 9 to 5 and just travel the world like how Evie is doing it. And but I think one of the main concerns they have is with money, So do you have to have a lot of savings before you take this leap? That's a personal question. Sorry.
Right. Yes. Can I just say that video that was just played, that's at the Shangri-La Tanjung Aru in
Ooh.
Kota Kinabalu.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we love that place.
Nice
It's so
one.
great. And that was actually, I think, when we
Mm-hmm.
first left. Money. So I had savings.
Mm.
So I was lucky with that. And I also rented out my house. So I got rent for that. There was still a little bit left over after I paid the
Right.
mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would sometimes get money if I was writing travel articles.
Right.
But I think if you're planning on doing a long trip, um, the best way to go about it, I think, is to look into where you want to go
Mm-hmm.
and try and work out how much it's going to cost you each day. So for us, we could travel very cheaply because a lot of the time we stayed in hostels and
Mm-hmm.
guest houses, which are like so much fun,
Mm.
especially if you're traveling with kids, because there's so many people around, there's so many young people around, and it's just a really friendly community vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of like hostels these days, they have great accommodation and you can get a private room and private bathroom. So yeah, I thought that was a really good way for us to travel and save money. And then, after a few weeks, if I needed a break
Mm-hmm.
or some downtime or whatever, I would go somewhere like the Shangri-La that we just saw and put
Mm.
Emmy in kids club for a little bit and just have a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think there's so many ways. And gosh, I love watching the Malay people. You guys are so amazing because you're such outdoor people. And I
Mm.
know you all love like camping and adventuring. I follow a lot of accounts, but they're always like outdoors and I love that. And so you can like really travel cheaply if you're
Mm.
enjoying that kind of a little bit more basic, but
Mm.
you know, that's the way you get to know, I think, local people and experience local
A little
culture.
river in
Yeah,
Thailand,
definitely.
and we're going to go and dig some
All right, okay. Okay, but anyway, we are talking about the camping and all that. Would you consider yourself an island girly or a city girly?
Oh, island girl. Yes, I do. I do love the islands and the beaches, but I love getting back. So again, KL was always our go-to when we
Mm-hmm.
were traveling full time because of the amazing theme parks there, and also Kidzania. So Em loved Kidzania.
Right.
So after we'd been traveling and living like kind of island life and living in huts on the beach, and we
Mm-hmm.
needed a bit of a city fix,
Yeah.
we would head to KL and we'd stay in
Wow.
KL. Yes, go down to Jalan Alor and eat all the street food and
Yeah.
wander down to uh, Petronas Towers
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, the Science Museum,
Yeah.
Petroscience there
Yeah.
is so cool for kids. Like we loved that. So we would come back in and just spend a little bit of city time before heading off again. So KL was a great base for us for that.
Mm. Can you imagine? I mean, I think a lot of people probably won't believe when I say this, but I've never actually been to the Science Museum, the one that you just mentioned.
Yay!
I
Oh,
know.
that museum
I'm so
is so great.
sorry.
Yeah.
Let me have just a little.
All right,
give me a
but okay, let's talk more about Malaysia because you've been here so many times. Where else have you been besides Kuala Lumpur? Have you been to Penang? Have you been to Langkawi? You've been to
Yeah.
Borneo, obviously, and Sabah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where
So we've
else?
been to Malacca. Malacca, I love
Mm.
Malacca, and I love the saying. I don't know if you still have it, but don't mess with Malacca. I'm like this.
Ooh.
This sounds Australian. I love that. They had it's the city call sign.
Yeah.
And I love Ipoh. I
Mm.
love the rock temples
Ooh,
up
yeah.
in Ipoh. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're very, very cool. And there's one, I can't remember the name of it, that has the moat around the bottom where you get little paddle boats and paddle
Mm.
around, which is very
Mm-hmm.
cool. And we went just outside of there. Oh, the name escapes me. And we did some whitewater rafting. I think it starts with a G. I can't remember.
G.
We've been to the Cameron. Yeah,
Wow.
near Ipoh. It has the big caves and you can whitewater raft. No, it starts with P. It's in. Oh no, that's Perak. It's in Perak. Anyway,
Okay.
just nearby. And then we've spent time in Penang, we've spent time in Langkawi, and we took the boat actually from Langkawi over to Koh Lipe for a little bit.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Rawa and the Perhentians. Yeah, probably more. I mean, we just love it. We love it, and all over Borneo, of course, too.
Right. I think the places that you've just mentioned, a lot of us, personally, people living in Malaysia right now, Malaysians, we haven't visited a lot of the places that you mentioned. Because, like, I've never been to Rawa. Yeah.
Oh, where are
So,
you going? Where are you going on your holidays?
oh,
Do you go overseas mostly,
uh,
Malaysians?
I think Malaysians
We
like to
stay
do
at
like weekend getaways, like maybe to Janda Bae or something like that. Like it's just a foresty place. It's just a road trip kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah. But for me, I go home and sleep, so I don't. Yes. Right. But okay, let's talk about the beaches, because you're an island girly. I'm an island girly. I love to tan. So from beaches in Southeast Asia to ancient cities in Europe, you've seen so many incredible places. Which destination changed you the most? Top of your head right now, not think. Top of your head, which one?
Oh, top of my head, I would say China, I think. A number
Ooh.
of reasons. Yeah, I have beautiful memories. Em and I joined a small group tour. She was only 5 or 6. It was when we first left, so it must have been she was 6. She was 6. We joined a small group tour and we hiked, oh my gosh, for so long to get up to this ancient part of the Great Wall of China. So not the touristy part, like right
Yeah.
out. And we carried tents and things, and then we set up our tent on top of a watchtower. And like there's a feeling there, like it's so amazing to experience something that, because millions of people worked on building this
Yeah.
Great Wall, and it's kind of like, I don't know, you just feel something when you're there, and watching it in the distance kind of trail out in front of us at sunset and sunrise was quite amazing. And Em and I just shared just such a really special connection at that time. But I think China also taught me a lot about stereotypes and how sometimes like people think a certain way about a different culture. And when you experience, I'm always telling people like China has the most incredible nature and the people are so beautiful and polite. Like we had like a grocer chase us down the street to give Em a mandarin while we were
Oh,
there. Like just really beautiful people. And I think, not just with China, but I think with sometimes ways that we can perceive the rest of the world and not exactly how it is when you're there. So I guess that changed me a lot, in that I think I didn't expect to fall in love with China as much as I did. I knew that I would love it. But yeah, I'm such a big fan of China, and I always encourage people to visit
oh,
there as well.
nice. When will be the next
Yeah.
time you visit China then?
Oh, I really want to go. I'm actually working with a Chinese girl that I met I always say it wrong, but Yangshu, which is near Guilin, which is like all the karst mountains.
Right.
It was so weird. I was thinking I want to organize a group trip with her to take mums and kids to China. And I'd met her back in 2016 or 17. And I'd lost her details and I couldn't figure out how to find her. And then the other day I was literally going through an old box and a piece of paper fell out, and it was her business card. And her WhatsApp was still active. Yeah, this is like about 2 weeks ago. And I got in touch and I'm like, it's Evie. She's like, oh, Evie, I've been waiting to hear from you. Like, let's get these trips happening.
So, yeah, have you already gotten, trips, up and coming trips running for Guilin?
Not yet, but this is what I'm working on. But I do group trips to Borneo, the Maldives, where I am now, the Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, all over
Right.
Southeast Asia, and hopefully adding China and a few more. Oh, Penang as well. Yeah, hopefully adding a few more to the list.
Yeah. So let's talk more about you organizing the trips, because I'm pretty sure the idea probably didn't start at the beginning, like 2016. When was it that you decided, okay, you know what? I think I'm good at organizing trips, and then I'm going to create my community, and then that's how Mom Pack Travel has grown into what it has. Yeah. So tell us more about that. Like, when did you think like, oh, okay, might as well, since I'm traveling, might as well just organize trips? And how did you come about that idea?
Yeah, well, I always wanted to, and that's why I created the name Mum Pack Travel, because it's not about like mum packing the bags. It's about a mum pack, like a wolf pack.
Yeah.
So like a pack of mums all together supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, so it must have been around, 2016 or earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't allowed to. There was a lot of legislation around in Australia about organising group trips and who could do it, and so it was not possible for me to do it. But since then, that legislation has changed, and I'm also did a travel agent's course. So now I'm accredited travel agent as well, which means I can
Nice.
get all the appropriate insurance and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm.
But what happened during the time of me traveling over those 3 years, a lot of women, especially, were saying, Evie, I'm a solo mum, or, women who are partners who have husbands, but the husbands are working and they don't get the time off to travel during the
Right.
school holidays, for example.
Mm.
They were saying, like, how do you do it? Can you take me with you? All of that kind of thing. And I'm like, actually, okay, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to start the group trips. And I did a few, but then, of course, COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
But since COVID, and when I've revived it, I'm doing a lot of mum and kids trips, so mums and kids up to about 12,
Yeah.
mum and teens trips. And then I also started doing women's trips, and I do a lot of them because there's a lot of women who want to travel, but maybe their friends don't want to travel,
Yeah.
or there's a lot of women who are also feeling a bit lonely at the
Mm-hmm.
moment as you get older and friendships change and
Yeah.
relationships change. So I end up having like a lot of women, they're such go-getters. They want to travel, but not by themselves. They want to do it independently, but not like be alone. So coming
Yeah.
along as a group is perfect. And they get to meet like-minded women and make friends. And yeah, everyone in my groups, they form great friendships and have a great time. So yeah, so I run a bunch of groups for women, group trips for women as well. They're always so much fun.
Yeah. I feel like I need to join at some point in time. I need to join in.
You do, you must.
Yeah, I will. I will. All right. But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about, a day in the life. So how does a day in the life with Evie look like? Walk us through, okay, what do you do in the morning? What time do you get up? Like, if people are interested to take, to just embark on this journey, let them have a little glimpse of your life, please.
Yeah, like when we're traveling, it's all very easy, because I feel like you're still living your life. Nothing much changes too much except the destination, and I think that's really good for people to be aware of, because a lot of people, especially women, are very nervous about traveling alone. Can be scared that things aren't going to go well, or it might be really difficult to school the children, or what do you do if kids are having a tantrum, or how do you stay safe? And when I get those questions, I always tell everyone it's exactly the same as when I'm at home. Like, I stay safe at home. I don't go out by myself in unfamiliar places, or I always keep an eye on Em, all that kind of thing. So I don't know, like a day in the life when we're traveling, I guess, there's no alarm. We just wake up, which is so
Oh,
cool. We're not waking
oh,
up and rushing
lovely.
to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, get up and have breakfast, go for a wander, explore. We'll generally have something on our plan, whether it's like looking at a local market or doing an activity, or maybe we'll just go down and swim at the beach. I always tried to include some kind of schooling for Em, even if we weren't having success with the formal work we were doing. It'd be, if we're at the markets, getting her to work out how much things would cost, or working out how to the exchange, like between the different currencies. So if this is so much ringgit, how much is it in Australian dollars? Or getting her to read the map, that kind of thing. Yeah, and then really a lot of it for our travels was just playing it by ear. I never really planned anything. And I think there's so much beauty in that when you're traveling, because when do you live your life without having plans for everything? We have so much responsibility. We have so much, like, regimented time in our lives, getting up, have breakfast at this time, get to work, do this, have lunch between this hour, then pay the bills, run around and do all the things you have to get done in your lunch hour. And so having that freedom, I think, to just be and choose what to do is just really life-changing. And it is such a fulfilling way to live. But it's also, of course, it's a very privileged way to live because you have to, be able to fund that. But, as we said before, you can still do it very cheaply. I mean, some of the best accommodation we've stayed in has been the huts on the beach that were incredibly basic and were very, very cheap. And we just walk down to the markets and get some fruit or some little packets of chicken and rice for breakfast. I mean, perfect. To me, that's just heaven.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah, so I think I've also seen you posting a couple of contents on like when people ask you questions about do I post this, do I post that? And yeah, so to those of you tuning in right now, if you want to follow Evie and you want to watch contents about all traveling related things, make sure you're following her at Mum Pack Travel. But the next question I want to ask you, how do you balance, because you mentioned being present as a mother, right? And while also creating content, storytelling, managing your brand, how do you balance all of these things whilst enjoying traveling, whilst enjoying the company of your daughter? Yeah. We need to know. Spill the tea.
Yeah. I feel like I'm working all the time because I've started this business and I'm trying. So originally, when we went home to Australia, I needed to find a balance for me because I get my happiness from traveling. But the right thing for Em was to be at home, for her to reestablish her friendships, to get back into the school system. And so that's not completely satisfying for me.
Right.
So I had to find a way to get my joy, which was running these trips and which still is running these trips. But as my business grows, I'm away more and more and more because I'm hosting trips. So I'm trying to now bring other women on to host the trips for me so I can share and lighten that load a little bit. I do less content creation. It's not ever really organized or planned or time consuming. I don't have Em really in very much at all anymore. I mean, it's up to her.
Right.
But I do think, like, when I think back to when I was traveling, she was in a lot more of the pictures. And obviously that's because, I'm behind the camera and it's really annoying to try and set up a tripod or whatever. But I think also a big thing for me was also body confidence back at that time. Like sometimes I look back and I think, oh my gosh, it looks like Em was traveling by herself because I didn't want to be in front of the camera. And I've since learned a lot about, I don't know, just loving my body and accepting myself and knowing that really no one else is looking at me. And it's all about me having a good relationship with myself and my body. And that was really life-changing. I know a lot of women, we stay out of the photos or we stand behind our children to try and block ourselves and our body. And I think that is really, really sad. And I did the same thing, but I just forced myself to get in the photo. And then I was in a photo and I'm like, well, that's not actually too bad. And then I just started doing it more and more. And then, so then I'm more in them. And now, I'm quite comfortable. Post bikini shots. I'm happy to chat to the camera. I don't care so much about, but it's still an ongoing thing because I think as women, we've always been critiqued on our bodies.
Yeah.
And so I think you're always a work in progress, but any steps you can make towards that, more self-love and self-confidence is always valuable for us and also for our kids.
Yeah.
So I'm in that a lot more, but I'm also trying to balance everything a bit more for Em. But when I leave the Maldives, I was heading home, but my flight time was changed, so I didn't make my connection. So I was like, that's a sign I'm going to stay in Asia. And so she's coming up to meet me in a few days.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to come to Malaysia?
Well, sadly, no, not this time. We're actually going over to Thailand because so at the moment already have 2 Malaysia trips, Borneo and Penang, and I want to start a Thailand trip. So we're going to go and suss that out and have a look around Koh Chang
Yeah.
and Bangkok. So yeah. But I'll be back in Malaysia when am I back?
You've
I
already
think June.
planned that, Evie?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay, that's cool.
I love it. I just posted about Malaysia on my Facebook because, the interview was coming up and I started thinking about Malaysia again and getting back there. And it was really weird because when Em and I first started going on our travels, someone said to me, "Are you going to Malaysia? Because it's quite dangerous." And I
Oh.
was like, "Well, yeah, I'm going to Malaysia."
Uh-huh.
And so I shared that story on Facebook and I said, my experiences in Malaysia have always been like the friendliest people. Like of everywhere that we traveled, I made the most friends in Malaysia. Like I have so many local friends there that I met. I mean, I made friends from, just everywhere, from people that I met who were at stores or we were there for Diwali. We just made friends everywhere, and like the food's amazing, the wildlife's incredible, but the people are so great. I've always just felt so safe and looked after and cared for. And then all the comments are coming in on Facebook of everyone saying, yes, the same with me. Like, yes, we love Malaysia. People saying they went there after I shared Malaysia, and everyone loves it. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Look,
On behalf of Malaysians, I thank you. All right. Okay. All right. Before I let you go for today, Evie, very inspiring, and thank you for inspiring me to book a flight to Maldives because that's always been on my to visit list. But okay, if you could share one message with parents who dream of traveling more but feel afraid to start, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to do it because the value of the connection that you'll make with your children, the time that you'll be able to spend together one-on-one, is just so much more valuable than any fear that you may have. Look, I did it. I did it all by myself, and I'm sometimes completely clueless. So I always say to everybody, if I can do it, you can do it. And certainly, like, my DMs are always open if you have any questions about traveling with your kids, or if you want to know anything at all, I'm always happy to chat.
Righto. So once again, it is at Mom Pack Travel on Instagram. You can also find Evie on Facebook. Yeah. And thank you very much for being here, sharing your time with us and giving us some insights. I think I feel a bit more inspired now because I know I'm a wanderlust. But
Right.
yeah. So thank you for the insight, and enjoy Maldives. I hope to see you when you come to Malaysia, please.
Yes, I will. I'll come and say hello. Thank you so much for having me. I feel like I could just keep talking forever. It's been so fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You take care, all right? All right. So there we go. Bye. That was Mom Pack Travel. Once again, if you want to follow her on Instagram with all the traveling tips, it's Mom Pack Travel. That's MUMPACKTRAVEL. Alrighty. If you've missed out on this interview, you can head on over to our Facebook page at TRAXXfm Official, where it's already posted. Anyway, we've got the news coming up at 4 with Aida Tahir. Be back after that.